We're in Buckden, off to do a fantastic walk up to Hubberholme and Yockenthwaite, along to Cray and back. The weather looks to be fantastic compared to the forecast. Anyway, you get yourselves acquainted with the route and I'll eat this Cornish pasty and see you in a bit. I've tried to talk about this route about 30 times and every time I do it I trip over my own words. So instead I will just let you watch the route as it goes to Hubberholme, then on to Yockenthwaite before catching the edge and walking all the way back to Cray before dropping down into Buckden. As you can see, the elevation profile is pretty flat, so it's a really good day for kids as well, or in winter when the days are much shorter. So I'm still eating this pasty, which actually is called a Yorkshire pasty, not a Cornish pasty. But I'm going to show you because we're going to turn right now, go into these fields, hit the River Wharfe and head towards Hubberholme. And I'll tell you a little bit about why this place is so fantastic to me. Right, let me finish this. So we're about half a mile out of Buckden now, walking on the River Wharfe. It's amazingly quiet today, on a Saturday. Across to our left is the Hill Horsehead, but before that is a little flat field, which may look just like an ordinary field, but it's where we camped for a week when I was a scout. So every time you go past it, it holds some great memories. It's such a lovely place. We built rafts down the river and I've just spotted a heron. Well, the heron flew off as soon as I went through the gate, and you can just see the field over the wall where we camped as a scout. We then turn right and walk down a quiet country road for about a quarter of a mile or so until we get to Hubberholme. So we're coming into Hubberholme now, which is 1¼ miles from Buckden. Turn right and go over the River Wharfe, and we'll go have a look at the church while we're here. Some interesting things about it. Wow, doesn't that look nice with all the remembrance poppies? Let's have a look. Now this is a 12th century church. Interesting because J.B. Priestley's ashes are buried somewhere in these grounds. There is also a shrewd balcony which managed to evade Elizabeth I's demolition of these things. And also Robert Thompson, the Mouse Man of Kilburn, has some interesting carvings in here. Let's have a look. I don't know if that comes out clearly or not, but it says 1641 on this little pulpit. And here we have one of the little mice sculpted into the pews. So we follow the path now to the right of the church, then head left and hit on the other side of the River Wharfe and follow that for another mile or so until we get to the metropolis of Yockenthwaite. So as I was alluding to earlier, the Wharfe Valley and Upper Wharfedale is a pretty special place to me. So many amazing memories, of which I'll tell you a few more about those later, and a great place to walk. And this is the Dales way that I did 2 years ago, from Bowness in Windermere down to Ilkley in one go. Took me 30 and a bit hours, and this section was in the dark. You couldn't see the sheep, but you could just see the glow of their eyes from the torch. I think I've got some pictures which I'll put up on the screen now. I'm not sure whether I look apprehensive or scared in that picture. So this little section on the Dales way, as I said earlier, was in the dark. This is where all the sheep's eyes were just reflecting back at me. And there was a barn up here, which kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies. But it was a really good experience walking down here on my own, in the dark, to get to Ilkley by 11 in the morning. It was a pretty good experience. So the hill up there in front of you is Buckden Pike. Again, one I went up when I was a scout. It seemed to have so many false summits. Every time you thought you were getting there, you'd get to the crest and find there was another bit to go up. I hated it. Probably go back and do it very soon. But on we go, along the River Wharfe. And it's so quiet here. Trip trap over the bridge went the first billy goat gruff. Now I must confess to you, my loyal subscribers, please don't judge me, but I feel comfortable enough now that I can tell you that this walk is that good. I'm coming back to do it tomorrow with some friends. Probably won't be filming tomorrow though. Yeah, I've said it now. While we're in confession mode, I once hatched a plan when I was about 13, which was to build a raft at Aldershot, where the River Wharfe officially starts, and spend a week paddling down the wharf on a raft. This bit would have been great, but there'd have been quite a lot of bits of it that I would have had to have dragged my raft over. It's pre-mobile phone days. I'd probably spent most of the week crying and wishing I was home. Light is just incredible today. So nice. It's drizzling at home. So glad I got out. Can you imagine me on my own trying to come down here on a raft for a week? I blame Mark Twain. I always thought I was Huckleberry Finn. So much for the welcoming party. Cheers guys. So this is a metropolis of Yockenthwaite. We'll be heading behind me to the left of the farmhouses, and then we'll be going up a steep hill to catch the top of the trees that you can see behind me now, before heading on to our right. The wind is getting up, I think, as we approach near the top. It's going to be very windy, and tomorrow is due a dusting of snow. Winter is coming. So we're looking right up there towards the source of the River Wharfe at Ortishore, which is just kind of around the back of the hill on the left, and beyond it up onto the top to the Cam High Road, the highest point of the Dales Way. Right, breathe in. And again. Oop. That's it, you stand right in the middle of the path, why don't you? Can I just come through? Thank you. Left of the two paths. Looking back up the River Wharfe and towards Horsehead, just on your left. Follow the river down and it will take you back down to Hubberholme and Buckden. As we walk along this ridge, as we get further round, we'll kind of end up at the head of the valley almost, where you take the left hand fork that takes you to Hubberholme, Yockenthwaite and over the top, or the right hand fork that takes you to Cray, which is where we're heading now. So there we are, looking down the valley now. Just in front and to your left is Buckden, and further down, and unfortunately you can't see it, is Kettlewell, 4 miles further down. So we'll soon wind round to the left, hit the road at Cray, and then if you can see that little scar above the 50 foot or so above the road on the other side, we'll walk around and across that and then drop down back into Buckden even at 7 miles, and we've done just 5 so far, so another 2 to go. One and a quarter back, and here we are after the short climb after Cray, looking back towards Horsehead and the route that we've come from, which is just at the top of that tree line there, if you can see it. And there we have it, the upper Wharfe Valley opens up, and just below us is Buckden, and then heading down the valley towards Starbotton and Kettlewell and beyond. And the Dales Way follows the river down, and the last little section down this track into Buckden and finish the walk. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. And if you want to check out any others, have a look at these ones. See you on the next one.